Hello everyone, Michael the Librarian of Magic here, finding and cataloging the magical and pointing you to it. Back here on October the 29th, only 2 more of these to go after this, with another drawing of a Disney villain for you. And Aaron with me once again.
Hi!
The same disclaimers as always for these drawings apply. You can find those and links to my other content at the end of this video. So with that out of the way, I will show you the Disney villain of the day.
Ooh.
It's Scar from The Lion King. This came out pretty good. You can see the scar on the eye.
The aforementioned Scar.
It wouldn't be Scar without the scar,
true.
right?
It's true. Would not.
Scar, voiced amazingly by Jeremy Irons in 1994's The Lion King. Just a great villain, which came to be as sort of a composite of a lot of traits that just ended up making him great. They knew that the movie was that the character was going to be Shakespearean in nature. They knew that the movie was going to be, for the most part, based on Hamlet. So that's one of the reasons they went after Jeremy Irons. He was like not super keen on doing an animated movie because he's like a serious actor with
Right.
classically
Why would I be in
trained,
a serious,
one of the Royal Shakespeare
And they're
guys.
like, hey, you get to be Disney on Hamlet. What would you
Yeah.
think? Nice.
But he decided to go for it after he saw early work on the animation. And that would be really cool. Supervising animator Andreas Deja, who I've talked about in one, or at least one, or if not 2 of my other videos, was the principal designer for Scar. And he had his choice to work at this point in time to work on Pocahontas or The Lion King.
Oh,
He chose The Lion King only primarily because he really loved The Jungle Book, and he loved Milt Kahll's design for, who I've also talked about in some of my other videos. They have Milt Kahll's design for Shere Khan.
Oh,
But
wow. To be like, this is my chance to do something like that.
But he purposefully did not watch the Jungle Book while he was working on this. So
Didn't want to be too influenced.
he would do something original. Instead, he actually used real lions.
Yeah, they brought some like by the studio for them to work with.
Yeah, there's like famous pictures and videos of them, of the animators drawing real animals. They came in the studio. And also he used the face of Jeremy Irons as a reference to draw Scar.
So
and,
like watched him doing the line?
And listened to his voice and just watched his face and then let that inspire his
So before the
creation of
capture motion thing that they did now, it kind of was precursor.
Yep.
Very cool.
Then the other things are they did stuff that, if you've watched the movie, they do things to obviously set him apart. He has darker fur and a darker mane than all the rest of the lions. And then Scar pretty much always keeps his claws out.
Ooh,
The other
I didn't
lions,
notice that.
yeah, the other lions
retract
don't,
them,
unless it's like they need them for action or something. But he pretty much always keeps his out, almost at all times. And then he has a bunch of other cool character traits. He's egotistical, which I love a narcissistic villain. He thinks highly of his own intellect. He's sarcastic, but he has a temper. Pretty much like most of the ones I've chosen. He's sadistic. He tortures Zazu and Sarabi and all the other lions.
He's bad news. Especially when he gets full power. That's when,
and some of that comes from the Shakespearean nature of it all. He's obviously based on Claudius from Hamlet, but they also threw in splashes of Iago from Othello and Macbeth. There's actually quite a bit in common with Macbeth, where Macbeth thought that he would inherit the throne because he thought that his nephew would not be able to, but instead he doesn't, and then he just conspires to kill the king. It's very similar, actually.
Right. It's kind of merging.
Yeah, it's kind of
together.
combining that stuff together. So, and then also he's inspired by all those Shakespearean characters and also Hitler. So,
well, yeah, because oh my gosh, that hyena scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, and they used like actual documentary about the Nazis especially with the "Be Prepared" scene as a reference.
Which, when you look at it, you totally can.
So they did use, some elements of Scar's like lust for power and rise to take over from Hitler.
Yep.
I also,
That's villainous.
I know. And then, on the point of it being similar to Macbeth and having his nephew and all that, I learned an interesting thing that it just didn't occur to me until I was reading about it. Scar is the first Disney villain, within the Disney canon to be biologically related to the protagonist of the movie. So,
like not a step.
He's not a step relative or anything like that. He's actually biologically related to Simba. Right. So he's the first villain that is actually related.
Right.
Biologically related.
Like an actual uncle that is trying to kill him.
Yep. So that's kind of like also makes him jerkish because he really is legitimately trying to kill.
Also very Shakespearean, to be honest. So it's only in true Shakespearean tragedy format that who cares if they're your family or not.
Exactly.
That doesn't matter in your villainy.
I also learned that Scar's a nickname. His actual name is Taka, which is Swahili for waste. That's what I learned.
So he's never, probably in some part of the script, he's Taka.
That's what I'm
assuming. They never
assuming.
say it.
Unless they also made a bunch of sequels and other stuff, so maybe it's mentioned there. I don't know. But apparently that's official.
Yeah.
From what I can gather.
Yeah, he's kind of.
Isn't that interesting?
And especially compare him to, obviously, Mufasa. So.
A little bit more about the voice performance with Jeremy Irons. Before I get to that, Scar is also portrayed in the recent live action movie from this year by Chiwetel Ejiofor, who was like in 12 Years a Slave. He was in The Martian. He was one of the main government dudes. So he does Scar. Yeah, he's a great actor, he's also classically trained. Like he's done Shakespeare. Like he's another one of those classically trained guys. They were originally, for the original animated film, they were considering Malcolm McDowell and Tim Curry. Always Tim Curry.
I know Tim Curry. Did he ever make it? He never. I
don't think he ever did one.
He never got to be a villain.
He was
frequent consideration.
Well, he was the. It's not a Disney movie, but he was the. Toxic. What is the name of the thing? He's the villain in Fern Gully. The toxic.
I
don't remember.
Yeah.
But that's
Fern
Tim Curry.
Gully, yeah.
The toxic sludge villain.
You're right. So really, he got Fern Gully as opposed to. I mean, not to totally diss Fern Gully, but it's not a Disney film.
It's okay.
So yeah.
Jeremy Irons ended up with the role, as we said, for the reasons before. He is a classically trained actor, but he's been in a bunch of stuff. I particularly like him in Man in the Iron Mask. He's one of the Three Musketeers.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's the villain in Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh, I've not seen that one.
Yeah,
I could see it. He just has that voice where he could really be good or real bad.
He's pretty cool.
Real bad.
I won't spoil the plot for you by revealing, his role or anything like that.
Right.
But if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Also, Jeremy Irons is in I just watched the pilot for the new Watchmen show on HBO. Just came out.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons is in that, and it's interesting. It's kind of cool so far.
Okay.
We'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
I've only seen an episode of it. And Jeremy Irons also won an Academy Award for his performance in the movie Reversal of Fortune.
Oh, that's what I haven't seen.
Yeah, so...
God, I gotta catch up on my Jeremy Irons.
When he was recording, another tidbit that some people might know, when Jeremy Irons was recording Be Prepared, particularly the voice stuff for Be Prepared, he was doing like an 8-hour recording session. He was on like the tail end of like an 8-hour recording session, and completely blew out his voice. Recording the song, and they'd only recorded like half the song. He got as far as the line, "You won't get a sniff without me," and repeating that line over and over again like trashed his voice. So Jim Cummings, who played Ed in the movie, the hyena Ed, he finished the song. So when you hear the song,
like that point on,
pretty much that point on. So when you hear the song in the movie, it's both of them. It's Jeremy Irons and Jim Cummings.
Hey, look, Ed gets to have a little bit more of a speaking
And
role.
I've mentioned Jim Cummings before. He's the guy that's doing the modern voices now for Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. He did the voices in Christopher Robin. He was the voice of Darkwing Duck.
Everything,
and like a bajillion voices in the Disney
And half
Afternoon.
of Scar's evil, horrible Nazi song.
And be prepared, yeah.
There you go.
Because apparently Jeremy Irons was going too hard and thrashed himself. So that's kind of my basic interesting stuff about Scar. He's a really cool villain. Obviously, The Lion King is maybe the most popular Disney movie of all time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you rank that.
It's up there.
Yeah.
And Scar is a great reason for that, I think.
So fantastic.
I mean, there's a lot of great things to like about The Lion King, but
he is one of them.
Scar is solid. And great song. So he's got a lot of the stuff I like in a villain. Awesome song. He's a crazy narcissist.
Exactly. Greedy, evil.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So what's not to like?
Exactly. What's not to like about that horrible bit of person? I mean, animal.
Yeah. And then you got like Jeremy Irons playing brothers with James Earl Jones.
I know. So fun story about this is we went to a Academy Awards showing, and they were doing like trivia beforehand, and they would throw out the year, right? The year of the movie, and then 2 actors or several in the movie. So they said they, had a bunch of just other ones, like all live action, and they said 1994, James Earl Jones and Jeremy Irons. And I think no one else, everyone else knows the answer. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the Lion King. And everyone's like, oh, really? So I'm super eager to get this shirt, which I ended up winning, and I wear it a lot because it's really awesome. So this is my thank you, Jeremy Irons and James Earl Jones, for winning me a t-shirt.
Even I was like, I mean, it was obvious when you said it, it occurred to you right away, but I was like,
I know, you're like, when were they together?
Well, 1994, James Earl Jones was in a movie with Jeremy Irons, because my brain went to live action, which I think everybody else in the room too was like,
I think what was James Earl Jones even in? Scar so much. I think I there's probably not a ton of actors that I know which Disney character they did, but Jeremy Irons and Scar, I love his voice. I think he does such an amazing job. I think I've seen some of the videos of him recording it.
Yeah.
He's so gifted.
Gave it everything.
Man, he did. So, wow, Jeremy Irons, so great. So great villain, great actor. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much the main thing to talk about, and that Disney used live animals.
Yeah. It was.
I would talk more about the new one with Chiwetel Ejiofor if I've seen it, but as I mentioned in another video,
we're catching up.
I'll get on it.
We're catching up.
It's not that I don't want to. I have nothing against it. I'm all for
and
seeing
I think it'll be that'll be an interesting kind of way to see if they're still trying to channel the Shakespeare. But obviously, do it a little
and
bit
even having
too.
not seen it, I could totally see Chiwetel Ejiofor as an excellent choice. So
yeah. Well, and it's you get to ham it up with Scar. Scar is not a low key villain. It's you get to ham it up.
He's Shakespearean.
Eat
He's
the scenery.
He's theatrical by nature.
Yeah, it's so good.
And
he's gosh, he's so evil. Some of the stuff he does, you're just oh god.
Yeah, he's super evil.
Really horrible.
He wants to murder his whole family.
Yeah.
And
let
the Pride Lands go to trash.
No, he doesn't care. It's all about him.
Well, his name is Waste.
It's true.
So he just wants the hyenas to take over.
Well, thank you, Simba, for bringing back.
That's right.
Not horrible wasting.
Well, thank you, Nala, for going to.
I know.
Tell Simba stop being dumb and come back and be the king.
Exactly.
So it's really, I mean, Nala, Rafiki, and the ghost of Mufasa are really the heroes.
I love The Lion King so much. And the musical, like, everything Lion King, I just love it. Like, the musical makes me cry, as does, the movie. Every time. So my sister, who I love dearly, cry without fail. Like, I mostly cry every single time she cries, to the point where, like, our family waits and then looks to see if she cried, because like we watch it happen because we know it will. And her son does it now too. Benjamin does it. So
it's so
powerful.
Sad.
It's amazing.
It
means
the
something.
stampede scene is hardcore.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Hardcore.
I know.
You know, I also read a little tidbit. The stampede scene just reminded me. I read that they were originally going to have when Scar kills Mufasa, they were originally going to have him say "Good night, sweet prince" instead of "Long live the king," and they decided that was a little too on the nose. And actually, I'm glad they didn't, because not only would that have been too on the nose, but Jeremy Irons' reading of "Long Live the King" in that scene with the animation, that's what I think makes it so powerful and so sad, is you see Mufasa struggling, you see him trusting his brother, and then "Long live the king."
Yeah, do not trust him.
I mean, it's a beautifully crafted scene.
Don't trust him. He has his claws out all the time. It's not good.
Well,
not
he's
good.
smart.
He is.
When it comes to brains, he's got the lion's share. But when it comes to brute strength, I'm afraid I'm at the shallow end of the gene pool.
It's so great. They use gene pool in a Disney movie. It's great. I love that.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Fantastic.
So, anyway, Scar.
Yes.
Scar is the villain for the day.
Yeah.
2 more of these left. Thanks for sticking with me.
Yeah, woohoo!
Join me all the way to the end.
Stretch.
Halloween's in a couple of days. I
Well
hope you've been
done.
enjoying these. I hope this has been a spark of magic in your day, and that
has been for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me
it's
too.
great.
So that's why I hope it can be for somebody else. Hopefully these are entertaining and informative, and I appreciate you watching. If you like this content, let me know down below.
Yes.
Send me some comments about your memories of Scar, the Lion
Yeah,
King. If
Lion
you're
King.
a Jeremy Irons fan, or maybe you like the hyenas, or maybe you just like Zazu and Timon and Pumbaa,
Yeah,
or whatever.
hey, whatever.
Anyway, let me know, or subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends about the content, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one, and we'll be almost done with this project. So have a really great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.